What's going on? George here. So in this video, we're going to go over the power of consistency and how to become extremely consistent as an entrepreneur. We all know the power of consistency and how that's the main separating factor between those who succeed and those who do not. The main separating factor and one of the only separating factors. It just all comes down to what causes us to be consistent and how we can step into that level for ourselves. And we're going to go over 4 steps in this video on how to do so. But just to give you some examples of the power of consistency. Now I'm going to have these numbers off a little bit, but just know that we're on the right path here. You can look it up after. Walt Disney got turned down 302 times. His idea for Disneyland was trashed 302 times before it actually became something, and he got the investors and everything required in order to build. Howard Schultz with Starbucks, I believe it was 242 times he got turned down by banks. J.K. Rowling with Harry Potter, it took her years to get a publisher for Harry Potter. Now, if they stopped because they didn't achieve these things, because they didn't get it right away, because they didn't get it after the first 5, 10, 15 times, where would they be right now? And what was it that caused them to become consistent? We're going to dive into that right now. Got the marker out and we're ready to go. Jumping in to let you know that we're doing 10-minute power and purpose consult calls with those who are entrepreneurs or looking to become entrepreneurs and are serious about stepping into a higher version of themselves. You can click on the link in the description in order to schedule your call. And once we jump on, we'll get clear on what's holding you back and what those next steps are for you and potentially see if you're a good fit to join us inside of the upcoming Power and Purpose Accelerator. So first things first is if your identity isn't aligned with a consistent person, then you won't be consistent. But the very first thing that we're going to dive into is if you don't know why the consistency is important, then you, my friend, will not be consistent. So let's say you have your business set up, you have everything going, you know what it is that you're doing, you're clear on the overview, you understand what it is that you're taking action on. The first thing that you must understand in order to become consistent after you know the business model and everything that you're doing for that is your why. Now, this may sound a little cliche, but this is true. If you don't know why you're doing something, it's very easy to change courses or to stop and slow yourself down and hold yourself back. So what is your why for the level of consistency that you desire to have? What is your why for building your business? What is your why for succeeding as an entrepreneur? What is it? Be very clear on what this why is for you. Because this is what will keep you going through all of the times. As you implement all of the steps, it will be a lot simpler. But your why, when that is on the forefront of your mind, what that's doing is it's telling your reticular activating system what is important to you. So it's allowing it to understand what thoughts to pick up on, because we have 60,000 thoughts per day. And when your reticular activating system clearly sees your why every single day, it knows this is important and we're going to help him see these opportunities, these people, these places, these events, these things in order to attract in his life. And this keeps you going because it is that motivating factor. And your why doesn't have to be like, oh, I just want to feed all the starving kids in Africa. Now, if that's your thing, awesome. But allow it to be selfish too. What do you want this for? What do you want the money for? What do you want to do for people? Yes, you want to give back to your family, to the people around you. You want to be able to help different things and have charities, I'm sure. But what are those selfish reasons for you as well? What kind of car do you want to drive? What type of lifestyle do you want to live? What is your why? That is number one. Get clear on what your why is. Now, once you know what your why is, that's a great start. But if you don't believe yourself to be a consistent man, then it will be very challenging for you to become consistent. Because right now, in your subconscious mind, you have these thoughts playing over and over and over again of, I'm not consistent. I start something and I stop something. I'm not consistent with the things that I do. I'm not consistent with making maybe bigger moves, with taking bigger actions. And if that's playing through your mind right now, then what's going to happen? You'll never be consistent, and it may not be playing through your mind consciously. Yes, it comes up consciously a bit, but subconsciously it's deep down in there. If you're not consistent at this point in time, it's because you don't believe yourself to be a consistent person. So what you get to do is you get to begin to affirm. You get to begin to affirm to yourself, I am consistent. I am so happy that I am consistent. Look at the success in my business because of my consistency. I'm so thankful for having this level of consistency that I now have. Every single day. And this may sound a little out there. If you're watching this video, you probably kind of get it. But you're reprogramming your mind. You're reprogramming your belief system. You're rewiring your mind for you to believe and for you to understand that you are consistent, because there's a place in this, there's a reality out there where you are a consistent man. And you might not have stepped into that reality, but now you get to do so. I am consistent. I'm so happy and grateful for being so consistent and the success that it's brought to my life and my business and X, 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 X. Then you start stating all your other goals on top of that. But in the present tense, I am so happy for being so consistent, as if you are already consistent, because you are, once you allow yourself to step into it. Affirm to yourself every single day. In the morning and at night, our brain is in the theta brainwave state. So this is when it's extremely powerful to do so. But you can also record an audio track and just listen to it all day long. So now there's no doubt that you're consistent. You see, when I first started in business, or when I first started with anything really, I wasn't consistent. I remember in college, I was drinking and partying and doing all these things, and I wasn't consistent with my working out. I wasn't consistent. I first got into business. I'm like, it's do or die for me, but like, am I going to be consistent in it? I don't know. I'd start some things and stop some things and start some things and stop some things. My first business was an auto detailing business. I stopped that because I didn't enjoy it. Then I got into personal training and all this stuff, and I stayed consistent because I allowed myself to program my mind for consistency. Allow yourself to do so as well. I am consistent. I blank am consistent. I am so grateful for being so consistent because of what it has brought into my life. Then you can attach to your why. So bring these together to create that for yourself and affirm that to yourself. So number 2 is affirmations. And comment down below if you've ever done affirmations before and if they've worked for you. The power of this is you seeing, not just seeing and not just saying it, but actually feeling it. Feeling is always the power because it connects you to one, the ether. It connects you to universal intelligence and it shifts your vibration. So now those things that you desire, instead of them being here and up here, you being here and them being up here, it puts you on the same vibrational frequency, on the same level, so you can actually receive these things. Number 3 is good old, I'm just going to put V-I-Z, even though it's V-I-S, visualization. Visualization is step number 3. Because when you see it in here, it must first be created in here before it's created out here. You can cause it to become a habit and cause it to become a normal. Cause it to become a new normal in your mind before it becomes a new normal in reality. So you get to see, feel, and experience yourself taking the actions and being consistent and the results that it provides for you. So again, these come together. You see, feel, and experience yourself as the consistent man that you desire to be, doing the work. And you're going to do this before bed, in the morning when you first wake up, again, because your brain is in the theta brainwave state and it's most susceptible. Your subconscious mind is most susceptible to receiving these things, and your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is fake. So when it continuously sees these pictures being played over and over again, you being consistent, you getting these results, it's going to do everything to reprogram yourself. So that is you. That is who you are. You're normalizing your consistency in your mind first. You're normalizing yourself taking those actions in your mind first. Those actions that you know that you get to take in order to become that greater version of yourself, in order to create the business that you want. So let's say it's running ads, right? You see yourself consistent, doing the work for the marketing for the ads, doing the work for the marketing for your business. You see yourself as being consistent, actually doing this. Watching yourself take the action steps over and over and over again that are going to get you to that goal. What are those specific action steps? And you get to get clear on those, which we'll get into next. But the visualization is extremely powerful and extremely important because it's setting you on this new frequency, it's setting you in this new vibration, and it's shifting your identity. And your identity creates your reality. So if your identity right now is someone who is not consistent, then you won't be consistent, and that will be your reality. But as you shift your identity through affirmations and through visualizations, you step into a new reality in your mind first, then you step into a new reality and you create it in your physical world. Here first, physical world second. See, feel, and experience these things. Allow yourself to be with this. Allow yourself to create the image in your mind and sit with that and be with that. Before bed, in the morning, very clear on yourself and watching yourself being the consistent man that you desire to be. Step number 4 is we'll put BT actions. So before bed, you get to know what your actions are going to be the next day. You get to set yourself up right. This is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. Those main action steps that you know that you get to take action on and you desire to be consistent on, be very clear on what that is before you go to bed. And the reason why it's so important before you go to bed is because your subconscious mind is always playing. So it's playing throughout the night while you're sleeping. And it's very magical what begins to happen is when you get clear on these action steps and then you visualize yourself taking those action steps throughout the night, your subconscious mind is playing and figuring out the best ways in order for you to do so. And then you'll wake up in the morning with an idea and you're like, holy shit, this is exactly how to do it. Or you'll wake up in the morning and you'll habitually take action because your subconscious mind has been playing this and programming yourself to take action and to be consistent. Not or, and. To be consistent. So before you go to bed at night, clarity leads to confidence, clarity leads to consistency. If we're not clear, then it's very difficult to be consistent because now everything's everywhere and we're like, oh, let me do this, let me try this, let me try this, let me try that. Clarity is extremely important. That's why before even step number 1, step number 0 is get clear. Know what it is that you're doing, know your business, know what you're stepping into, what those main priorities, what those main action steps are for yourself. And then every single night before you go to bed, you get to get clear on what that next day main action steps are. Clarity is extremely powerful and extremely important because your mind now picks up on the thoughts, again, going back to the reticular activating system, what it is, what's important and what to seize and what to do and what not to do. It becomes habitual for you to be consistent when you have these things, and it becomes very easy because when you're not clear, as you may have experienced in the past, you're all over the place. And then you just put your work away, you close your laptop, and you open up your phone and scroll through social media. We don't want that. We want to be very clear. These are the action steps that I'm taking. When I first wake up in the morning, this is the first one. Once I get this done, this is the second one. Once I get this done, this is the third action step. Once I get this done, this is the fourth action step. And if I take all 4 of these main action steps, what's going to happen? Business grows. Business blows up. I achieved success. And we actually have 10-minute consult calls that we're doing with guys who are ready to take this step and step into a new identity and create the businesses that they desire for themselves. Guys who are already in business who want to grow and scale that to the next level. So if that's you, then you can click on the comments in the description or click on the link in the description to set up a 10-minute consult call with us here at Power and Purpose. So bedtime actions, I'm going to give you a bonus one here. Bonus number 5 is start small. So if it's a new action step and you felt a little overwhelmed and you haven't taken the action that you know that you get to take, maybe you're doing too much and it becomes overwhelming for you. And it makes you a little anxious. You're like, I don't know. You go to do it. You go big. Just like people at the gym sometimes. They'll go to the gym for the first time again and they'll go really hard and all of a sudden they get really sore. So they don't go back the next day and they're still sore, delayed soreness the next day, and they don't go back and they don't go back because they went too hard in the beginning. So how can you start small? Start small with these action steps. I know myself, I'm going to go back to the gym example. When I first said I want to start working out in the morning, I want to start waking up early in the morning and working out. The first thing I did is I went to the treadmill that I had, stood on the treadmill, walked on it for about 2 minutes. That was it. Walked on the treadmill for 2 minutes. And it sounds dumb, but if you can't get yourself to take these actions yet, what you'll be able to do through here, starting small is always a good step as well. Even with any of these, start small. Listen to your affirmations. Do the visualization, a 2-minute visualization or a 1-minute visualization or a 30-second visualization or a 10-second visualization every single night and build up. Because this is what allows you to actually create the habits for yourself. You're carving a new path. Imagine yourself walking down a trail and one path is completely covered with bushes and everything of that sort and the other path is clear. You're most likely going to walk down the clear path. But the clear path is a path that you've been walking down. That's not the one that you want. You want to walk down the path that isn't clear yet. So what do you get to do? You get to start to move the bushes out of the way, cut down the branches, cut down the leaves, cut down the grass, whatever it is to make your way through. And that's what you're doing here. You're creating a new habit for yourself, the habit of being consistent. So allow yourself to start small. Back to my example, I started on the treadmill, then boom, 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 started building up, treadmill 20 minutes, and then eventually going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. Because I allowed myself to start small. I knew me being a morning person and me working out in the morning was not something for myself. So I got to make those shifts within myself. If you follow these 5 action steps, you will allow yourself to be the consistent man that's required in order to continue to up-level and achieve the success that you desire to have. Don't hold yourself back any longer. You can be that consistent man. And it's all within you. Now, if you want, you can click around. We have other videos on how to gain the confidence, how to reprogram your mind, and how to step into that new identity and that higher version of yourself. The time is now, my friends. Don't hold yourself back any longer. Thank you for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one.